I just want to check my balance. The billionaire banker mocked the maid's daughter for entering his private sanctuary. He laughed while typing her grandfather's code, expecting a joke. Then the screen flashed, and the laughter died instantly. It looked like trash. A cracked leather wallet held by a 10-year-old girl in scuffed sneakers. To the billionaires in the lobby, Jenny Patterson was just a joke in a cheap dress. But inside her plastic folder wasn't homework. It was a charcoal-written code that hadn't been touched since 1952. She walked in simply asking to check a balance, unaware she was holding the master key to a national secret. When the arrogant branch manager finally typed the numbers, the laughter died instantly. The screen didn't just show a fortune. It signaled a hit squad. The air inside the First National Trust didn't smell like air. It smelled like crisp paper, floor wax, and old money. It was a cold, imposing scent that seemed to push against Jenny's chest as she pushed through the heavy revolving doors. She was small for her age, with blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail that had gone slightly crooked during the bus ride over. The lobby was vast. The ceiling soared 30 feet high, supported by pillars that looked like they had been stolen from a Roman temple. In the center of the room, men in gray suits stood in tight circles, speaking in low, serious voices. Women in elegant coats held purses that probably cost more than the car Jenny's mom drove. Jenny stopped near the entrance. Her heart hammered against her ribs like a trapped bird. She hugged the transparent plastic folder to her chest. Inside, a few papers shifted. She looked at the floor. It was polished so perfectly she could see her own reflection looking back up at her. She looked scared. "Don't be scared, Bug," a voice echoed in her memory. "You stand tall. You're a Patterson. We don't shake in front of anyone." Jenny took a deep breath. She inhaled the cold, expensive air and let it out slowly. She forced her chin up. She walked toward the main counter. The counter was a fortress of dark mahogany and brass. Behind it, bank tellers worked with quiet efficiency. They didn't look like the nice ladies at the grocery store. They looked like they were guarding the crown jewels. A security guard, a large man with a bored expression, stepped into her path before she could reach the velvet ropes. "Lost your parents, kid?" the guard asked. He didn't sound mean, just dismissive, like she was a stray cat that had wandered in. Jenny looked up at him. "No, sir. I'm here for business." The guard chuckled. It was a dry, crackling sound. "Business? The candy shop is 3 blocks down, honey. This is a bank, a private bank." "I know what it is," Jenny said. Her voice trembled, but only a little. "I need to see a teller." "Look," the guard sighed, hooking his thumbs into his belt. "We have clients here. Important people. You can't just—" "Is there a problem, Miller?" The voice was smooth, deep, and carried the weight of authority. A man stepped out from behind a glass partition near the back. He wore a suit that was tailored to fit him perfectly, a silk tie, and a gold watch that glinted under the chandelier lights. This was Robert Henderson, the branch manager. He was a man who prided himself on knowing the face of every millionaire in the city. He certainly did not know this girl. The guard straightened up. "Just a kid wandering in, Mr. Henderson. I was just escorting her out." Henderson looked down at Jenny. His eyes were cold, blue, and calculating. He scanned her in a second, the cheap coat, the scuffed shoes, the plastic folder. He categorized her instantly. Waste of time. "Where is your mother?" Henderson asked. He didn't lean down. He spoke from his height, making Jenny crane her neck. "She's working," Jenny said. "Then you should go find her," Henderson said, turning away. "This isn't a daycare." "I'm not here for daycare," Jenny said. Her voice was louder this time. It cut through the low hum of the lobby. A few heads turned. A woman in a fur coat paused her conversation to look over her sunglasses. Henderson stopped. He turned back slowly, a look of mild annoyance crossing his face. "Excuse me?" "I'm here to access an account," Jenny said. She stepped around the guard. She walked right up to the mahogany counter. The top of it was almost at her eye level. Henderson let out a short, sharp laugh. It wasn't a happy laugh. It was a laugh meant to make her feel small. An account, Henderson repeated, looking at the other customers to share the joke. Did you save up your allowance, sweetheart? The piggy bank exchange is at the community credit union across town. We require a minimum deposit here that, well, let's just say it's more than your neighborhood earns in a year. The woman in the fur coat giggled. A man in a blue suit smirked and shook his head. Jenny felt her face grow hot. She felt the sting of their eyes. They were looking at her like she was dirt on their shoes. She wanted to run. She wanted to turn around, push through the doors, and sprint until her lungs burned. Courage isn't about not being scared, Bug. It's about doing it anyway. She remembered her grandfather's hand. It was rough, calloused, and shook sometimes, but it was the strongest hand she had ever held. He had given her the folder 2 days before he died. He had made her promise. Go to the First National. Don't take your mom. She'll be too afraid to walk in. You go. You're the brave one. Jenny placed the folder on the counter. I have the information here. I want to check my balance. Henderson sighed. He walked over to the counter, leaning his elbows on it, looking down at her with a mix of pity and irritation. Listen to me, he said, his voice low. I don't have time for games. I have clients waiting who manage millions of dollars. You are disrupting the atmosphere. Now, take your homework folder and leave, or I will have security carry you out. It's not homework, Jenny said. She opened the plastic snap of the folder. I'm calling the police, the guard grumbled, reaching for his radio. Wait, Henderson said. He held up a hand. He was enjoying this, in a cruel way. He wanted to see what was so important that this little girl would brave a room full of sharks. Let's see what she has. Maybe she has a coupon she wants to redeem. More laughter from the lobby. The cruelty hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. Jenny reached into the folder. Her small fingers trembled as she pulled out 3 things. First, she placed an old, worn leather wallet on the counter. It was cracked with age. Second, she placed a birth certificate. Third, she placed a small, silver key. It was heavy and looked very old. Henderson looked at the items. He raised an eyebrow. A wallet? Is this a lost and found? It was my grandfather's, Jenny said. He said the account is in his name, but he left it to me. And who was your grandfather? Henderson asked, picking up the wallet with 2 fingers as if it might be dirty. A janitor? Did he win a scratch-off ticket? His name was James Patterson, Jenny said clearly. The name didn't register with Henderson. He shrugged. Patterson. We have a dozen Pattersons. Unless he was the Patterson who owns the steel mills, I doubt he has business here. He wasn't a steel man, Jenny said. He was a soldier. A soldier, Henderson scoffed. Thank you for his service, but veteran benefits are handled by the government, not by private wealth management firms. He pushed the wallet back toward her. Go home, kid. Jenny didn't move. She pushed the wallet back toward him. He said to give you the account number, she said. He said you have to check it. It's the law. Henderson's jaw tightened. He was losing patience. The audience in the lobby was starting to lose interest, returning to their conversations. He needed to end this. Fine, Henderson snapped. Give me the number. I will punch it in. The screen will say, account not found, or show a balance of $5, and then you will leave. Deal? Jenny nodded. Deal. She opened the wallet. Inside, on a yellowed piece of paper, was a string of numbers written in shaky charcoal pencil. She read them out loud. 4, 7, 2, Alpha, 0, 0, 1. Henderson typed the numbers into his computer terminal without looking at the screen. He did it aggressively, hitting the keys hard. There, he said, looking at her. I typed it. Now the system is searching. It will take a moment to realize you're wasting my time. Jenny stood on her tiptoes, trying to see the monitor, but the back of the computer faced her. She could only see Henderson's face. She watched him. She watched the arrogance in his eyes. She watched the smug little smile playing on his lips. "You know," Henderson said, leaning back in his leather chair, "my daughter is about your age. She's in a private academy right now. She knows better than to interrupt adults. Maybe your mother should invest in some etiquette lessons for you instead of sending you on wild goose chases." Jenny bit her lip. "My mom works hard. She cleans houses for people like you." Henderson laughed. "I'm sure she does, and she probably does a fine job, but that doesn't mean you belong in the bank." Suddenly, the computer let out a soft ping. "Ah," Henderson said. "The verdict is in." He spun his chair around to face the screen. He was ready to read out the error message. He was ready to make a witty comment and point to the door. "Let's see," he muttered. "Account holder, James Patterson. Status." His voice trailed off. Jenny watched his back. She saw his shoulders stiffen. He sat perfectly still for a moment. Then he leaned forward. He squinted at the screen as if he couldn't read the words. He tapped a key, then another. He took a handkerchief from his pocket and wiped his forehead, though it wasn't hot. "Mr. Henderson?" Jenny asked softly. He didn't answer. "Is it $5? She asked. Henderson didn't speak. His hand moved to his mouse. He clicked something. Then he clicked again, faster this time. Behind him, the lobby had gone quiet again. People had noticed the silence. They noticed that the arrogant manager had stopped talking. They noticed the tension radiating from the man in the suit. "Is there a problem, Robert?" A man in a gray suit called out from the waiting area. Henderson ignored him. He was staring at the screen as if he had seen a ghost. Slowly, he turned his chair back around. His face was pale. The smug smile was gone, completely wiped away. In its place was a look of confusion and something else. Fear. He looked at Jenny, really looked at her. He looked at her worn-out sneakers. He looked at her cheap pink coat. He looked at her blonde pigtails. He swallowed hard. His Adam's apple bobbed. What did you say your name was?" Henderson whispered. His voice was hoarse. "Jenny," she said. "Jennifer Patterson." Henderson looked back at the screen, then at the guard. "Miller." "Yes, sir?" The guard stepped forward, reaching for Jenny's arm. "I'll take her out now." "No!" Henderson shouted. The shout echoed off the marble walls. Everyone in the bank froze. The tellers stopped counting cash. The customers stopped talking. The guard jumped back, startled. "Don't touch her," Henderson said, his voice trembling. He stood up. He walked around the counter. He didn't walk with his usual swagger. He walked quickly, nervously. He stopped in front of Jenny. He knelt down on one knee. He didn't care about his expensive suit touching the floor. He needed to be at eye level with her. "Jenny," Henderson said. He sounded out of breath. You said you wanted to check the balance?" "Yes," Jenny said. "Grandpa said I had to." "Did your grandfather?" Henderson paused, licking his dry lips. "Did he tell you what was in this account?" "No," Jenny said. "He just said it was for the rainy days. He said he saved it from before the war and after."